So I'm, again, Lonnie Summers with HAL Sports, and I know many of you, the attendees on the call, and I'm very excited about day two because where we talked about a lot of things of mitigation plans and the exciting stuff from Pledge It and how to look at ways to increase your events in virtual and how you can get people participating in them, but participating in them and with different challenges and create fundraisers around that. Today is very exciting, and our schedule is that we're going to hear about the first up is going to be Koen with social distancing sports, which is sodisp.com. Koen and I have known each other for several years. He used to be a key technology developer with MyLapse, which is our sport platform that we use for all of our timing and scoring systems. And Koen is one of these absolutely brilliant people who can overnight, I feel like anyway, at least overnight, think of an idea and build it in a technology system the next day. And he's always really anxious to bring new ideas and things to the table. But what's really neat about his stuff is really looking at how we're using technology in creating hybrid and in-person events, but also the virtual world, and how we create those engaging systems. And Koen has quickly adapted and brought up his technologies to assist, and has been assisting many large events and small events all across the United States and really all over probably Europe as well. He's based out of the Netherlands. So I'm excited for him to share and go through some examples of things that he's been doing. I'm also very pleased to announce I've been so impressed with Koen's technology and everything that I have agreed to be a partner with Koen in the sense of being an advisor and promoter of his technologies and stuff, because out of what I've found through some of the things that he's been working on is he's made things very agnostic to the type of technology. So he integrates not with just Garmin, but Fitbit and Strava and a whole bunch of other things. So that makes it very easy to participant to not have to use somebody else's app or technology in order to link up their things to his system. Koen, you want to introduce yourself?
Well, what can I say? I think you did the perfect introduction for me. So yes, I'm from the Netherlands, so that's why it's dark behind me, because it's evening already this side of the globe. But I'm very excited to be here and to have the opportunity to talk about Sodisp. So I'm a runner myself as well. I have, as Lonnie already told, I have founded a startup around 10 years ago, which was basically the first Dutch running community. That was at one point acquired by MyLapse, and that's also how I started to work for MyLapse. And MyLapse had a wonderful time. I worked there 4 years. I was in the end responsible for the Boston Marathon app, which was, of course, like extremely exciting to be part of and make that possible. So, and now I'm back in the endurance industry with a new startup focusing on the virtual challenges and moving into hybrid events as that gets possible, hopefully this year. So super excited to be here. And first I'll start a demo and also do a little demonstration, and then hopefully in the end have the opportunity to help answer some of your questions. You are muted, Lonnie.
Michelle, you're up.
Awesome. Hi, everybody. Good to see you all, or be here with you, everyone. Again, I'm with HAL Sports and kind of Lonnie's doer, so whatever he needs done, I do. So if any of you need anything during the call, or anytime, obviously, but during this webinar, if you want to shoot something in the chat to me or Q&A, I can definitely try to answer those questions. So have fun.
Thank you, Michelle. Okay, well, we're going to jump right in. And Koen, I'm going to see if you want to hit your share screen button and see if that works. If not, I'll turn you over to host.
Try. I still have host disabled. Participant.
Boy.
Oh.
Someday I'm going to find that button. I'm going to. It's funny that that was my screen. It's funny that all the settings in the world are easy to find except that one. I found it on Tuesday, and then it seemed like, oh, there it is, and then I can't find it. So, Koen, I'm going to, at your name, make you host, and
see how that goes.
In just a second. And hopefully, you'll be able to share your screen. Okay, so you should now be host.
Yes, I have more options. Okay. So let me see. So you should now be able to see my screen. Is that correct?
Yep, we can see your screen.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, great. So as Lonnie already introduced, the name of the platform is called Sodisp, which is short for social distancing sports. It's really a response to the COVID pandemic when it started in March, April. So it's really, it's a purposely built platform that's really focusing on providing the best possible experience for virtual challenges, and is built from the ground up to facilitate this. So I had a introduction slide to introduce myself, but I think we already covered that, so quickly move over. So if you look at the bigger picture, what does the platform do? In the end, it allows you, event organizers, nonprofits, to host your own challenge on the platform. And by doing that, you can use all the features and functionalities that are available to offer the best possible experience to your participants. So the main components of that is, well, everything starts with an activity, because either you run, you bike, you walk, or could be any sport, could be any activity. So we also have challenges who do yoga and then translate that into activities. So everything is possible. And in everything we do, we try to make it as easy as possible. So instead of forcing, as most platforms do, to either use one specific app that's made for that platform, but then if you have a different brand watch or you use a different app, you can't use it, you need to do manual entry. We try to offer as many possible integrations. So whether you use Strava, or you have a Garmin watch, or you have Polar, Suunto, maybe use Fitbit, those are all supported. And whenever you finish an activity on your watch, so on your watch you click save, within a minute it's automatically available on the platform. So there's nothing you need to do. Well, then of course there's a lot of participants still who don't run with an app or a watch, so we do have manual entry as well, of course. When we have all those activities, we take them through our main engine where we do the ranking and the scoring. We create leaderboards based on the specific challenge configuration. So there are a number of options available to provide results. And those can then be shared. You can customize them. A very popular feature is to add badges as sort of intermediate goals. And you as an event organizer, you always have the opportunity to manage your own challenges, so you're in full control. Everything we do is always built on a scalable cloud platform. So whether you run a small event or a large event, it will just work fine. So this really is the purpose of in everything we do, we want to create engaging virtual challenges. We want it to be fun for your participants, because if it's fun for your participants, they will also tell their friends and families, and they will basically become ambassadors of your event, and that will bring new registrations to your event, and that will eventually then benefit you. So in everything we do, this is at the core of it. So let me quickly go through some of the types of the challenges that we have, and then I will go a bit further in some of the details. To make it a more interactive presentation, what I was planning to do is to first have a bunch of slides to show you more or less how it fits together, and then do a interactive sort of session with a tool that we call a simulator, where you can set up any virtual event and you can play it as if it was a real event. So that really gives you a good understanding of how the tool will work for your setup. But I will go into details a bit later on. So let's look at the types of challenges that we have. A time challenge is basically a translation of a virtual / hybrid event. So it could be a 5K, a 10K, multiple distances, and the goal is to run as fast as possible. So it's really a literal translation of a virtual event. You set the distance, you set what activities are allowed to qualify, and then people are ranked based on their time. There, of course, is one trick. If you run with a GPS watch, then you never do exactly 5K, because when we do a real event, we know that there's a start and the finish is exactly 5 kilometers away from that. There are nice timelines with really well working timing equipment, so we know that our result is accurate. So how do we do that in the virtual world, where someone might run 4.9 kilometers and then stops, but they still want that to count, or they run 5.1, but if they run 10% distance extra, then it's not really fair to their time will also be, their duration is larger. So what we do is we really try to scale that to the target distance. So if you run further, then we reduce your time to match that. And even more, if you have a GPS watch, we will go into the data track of your run, and we just take the first 5 kilometers. And everything after we ignore. So we really take the best possible time that we can get for your run. So we have nice, comparable, and fair results for everyone. So that's a time challenge. We have a total distance challenge, which is a very popular type of virtual challenge these days, where you can optionally draw any map. That could be, like in this example, it's a Lake Tahoe to San Francisco virtual course. It's 200 miles. We started at the lake and in the Bay Area, and with every activity is added and combined into a total distance for your combined effort. This challenge ran for about 3 months, which allowed everyone to finish the total distance. You can use a real map, but you can also go crazy and make maps. We have one that has 2021 written on the map, and you go to the end of the one. That's your target. We have one who made their corporate logo was a dolphin, and they drew a gigantic dolphin logo on top of the earth from France to Singapore. So you can do all kind of funny things with the map. And we have an elevation challenge, which is suitable for trail runs. So this allows you to only look at the elevation gain component of every activity. So it doesn't matter how far you run, just how many altimeters did you do. And those are then combined So you could like virtually climb the Mount Everest if you want to, and again combine that with a map so you more or less see where you are on this journey. So one of the first larger events that we hosted was the Run Across California. It was a 200-mile challenge, started in July. And here are some of the interesting facts that we learned from this challenge. And about 50% of the users connected with Garmin or Strava. So that's really a significant part of also of your participants who would prefer to have an automatic integration over manual entry, because that if you need to do that for 3 months, it gets boring to have to go into a system every day and manually enter it. If you can take that away from your participants, they can focus on seeing their progress towards the goal. We had 350,000 page views in the first month, so that I think that's a key metric in also sharing with potential sponsors, because it really shows how much sponsorship value there really is in a well-organized virtual challenge. And something that really surprised us a lot is that on average participants, they check their progress every other day. So even if they didn't run, they wanted to know what their position in the leaderboard was. They wanted to check their friends and family as well, of course. So let's look at some of the key features that we bring. One very core component in providing the best engaging challenges is to allow participants and also their friends and family to really like, comment, and share their results. It makes it much more social and allows them to get their friends really involved in their performance and their results. So we have that, and we show their personal photos in the leaderboards and in their results to make it really their result that's special to them. Also for event organizers, to allow them to create not just another virtual challenge, but something that really fits their branding and their storyline. We have a lot of customization options, so you can change the layer and the look and feel, upload logos, add sponsors, customize some of the text, so and also use badges to tell a specific story that fits that virtual challenge, because a lot of power in different virtual challenges to keep participants engaged during a longer time is really theming a virtual challenge. So that goes into the artwork, and that goes into the storyline, that goes into the badges, bringing this total experience to the participants really. Then next to individual results and challenges, we also offer the opportunity for teams and relays to participate. So that could be something that as a team of runners or cyclists, your team total, and you're competing with the other teams in that specific challenge. And yeah, this is, well, me going on a typical run these days. I have a lot of watches to make sure that the syncing keeps working. No kidding, I don't normally run with 5 watches because it's really awkward. I did try, I can tell you. But all these different integrations, they really set Sodisp apart from the competition. It's really no platform available on the market today that offers these integrations. So that really helps your customers and your participants to use the device and the apps that they love, that they already use, so that they don't need to change their habits to participate in your challenges. So how does this syncing work? So there's a one-time connect. That's what they do when they connect with the event. So when I am participating in a challenge, I could potentially join by clicking connect with Strava. I probably am already logged into Strava, so the only thing I need to do is click agree. then it automatically creates an account in Sodisp. It's linked to my Strava account. And then when I go out running or cycling with my Strava app, the moment I save it in the app, it will be sent to our servers and will be automatically linked to your results. So you don't need to touch a laptop or computer or anything to have your result in there. It all goes automatically. So that makes it really powerful, especially for these challenges that run for 3 months. That there's no extra work needed from your participants. And as I mentioned, there's always part of the participants who rather have manual entry, or they don't have a phone or a watch that they use. So we do have a very simple way as well to support them as well and allow them to enter their activities with only a few clicks. So it's also possible, but the auto-sync is always the preferred option. So this is our main feature components. I think I've covered most of them already. One that I did mention, but is definitely worth some more words, is the badges, because they are really a good tool to keep your participants engaged from start to finish, and offer them like a small reward every couple of days that they participate. Gives them something that they can share online, share with their friends, and that in itself can also can bring new participants to your event. So that really will help you to sell more registration and make your get more money potentially for your charities as well. So every time they reach a milestone, they earn a badge. They can get an email which is nicely branded with your event logo. It has the badge that they just earned, and there it also shows a very large big button, share this badge, and that allows them to quickly share it with WhatsApp, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or whatever they want to share it with to their friends and families. They will be taken into this virtual challenge, and from there they can learn more about it, and they could potentially then register to also start participating. So that's a really powerful tool to bring more traffic and also bring more sponsorship value. There's really a lot of ways you can set up these badges. I would say too many to go through them now, but you can think of like reaching an intermediate goal. After 50 miles, you give them a badge. Or you could say when you do 3 consecutive days of training, then you get an extra bonus badge, and that shows on your profile. It gives you something to share. There's could do also based on specific activities. So if you do a run for more than an hour, give them something that they can share and be proud of. So this is really a fun part to play with and add value to your challenge. Yeah, one thing that really helps you, important in the proper setup, is the use of your registration data. So you typically have a registration data where you collect everyone who registers for your virtual challenge, and you can simply import this data into Sodisp. We take your official registration data as a source of truth. So we will use that for the leaderboards. So we can do, for instance, age grading based on categories-based age grading, or gender-based leaderboards. We can make sure that we have really like nice-looking, verified data in our system. And you can simply import it from your registration system. The flow to use that is that you import your registration data. You can keep doing that over time. If you get more registrations, just import a new file. Then you invite your users into the Sodisp tool. Typically, this could either be automatic or a one-time batch. And then the users, they connect to this event with a verification code, and a verification code could be their registration ID. It could be their bib. It can be anything how you want set this up. So if you use a nice Venn diagram to visualize this, then every user on Sodisp, they have their profile. It contains their activities. It is linked to the devices that they have. And then every event brings the registration data. So as a participant on Sodisp, I can participate in multiple events at the same time if I want to. And every event has their own registration data. Using this verification code, the two are linked together. So based on this, I can be in a different category for every event that I participate in. I can participate in multiple events and races at the same time. And that's all managed by the official registration data. So any changes that are provided in the registration system, they will be automatically reflected into Sodisp as well. Yeah, as I already mentioned, customizing and providing like sponsor opportunities is a very key component into the system, because it allows you to also bring value back to the sponsors. And I think on Tuesday there were already some examples given that going virtual or hybrid allows you, as well, the one benefit of course of digital is that you can measure it, so you can tell a sponsor more accurate numbers of the reach that they get. And that could, because now suddenly you can reach any participant in the world instead of only the ones near your city or state. So having these options is very powerful. As an event organizer, you can have your own organization pages where you host all your events, so you can highlight those and you don't need to show those of your friend or competitor or other challenges around you, or create, if you have a series, you can also group them together and brand and customize those specifically. The event manager is the last slide before I want to go to a quick demonstration. This is a really powerful self-service tool, and it allows you as an event organizer to do everything yourself. So you're in total control of your challenge. You can set it up, configure it, make it go live, troubleshoot questions that participants may have, and when need to also apply some fixes to those. So it's really a really powerful set of features at your disposal. And when you're working with a team to manage your events, you can also invite them to join you in that. So I had a Q&A slide, but instead of doing that, I wanted to do a quick demonstration. This slide does show my email address, so if you have any questions during, after, then feel free to reach out to me anytime. Let me see. I think I can. I will try to switch to a new window. And I think here we go. Yes. If I'm not mistaken, you should now see a different screen. Is that working correctly? Yes. Yes. Great. Cool. So this is what we call it a simulator. It allows you to do a dry run of any challenge configuration setup that you want to. So here you can select the type of challenge you want to play with, that you want to try out. And of course, because I mean, we're in a Lonnie symposium, there is a total stairs challenge type. I mean, what kind of platform would it be without having a virtual stair climbing feature, of course. But let's go for the best result. Now I can choose, do I want individual or do I want a team/relay race? Let's start with something really simple. We have a 10-kilometer race and it's going to be running, and we want 25 participants. So I'm going to hit save. Now it's preparing a completely simulated event with dummy data, but it's it will work exactly as if it was real data. So it allows you to play with all those settings and how would that work out for your different challenge types. So that could be very helpful, especially when starting with Sodisp. This can be a very helpful tool. So it has prepared the simulator, and now I have all the options, and all these names are fake. So they're completely randomly created. But yeah, it does show how it would look. So now we have a virtual 10K, and you see some times that could, well, be a 10K time. I can filter on gender, for my gender-based leaderboards. So I can have a look at that. I can select age-rated category. I can search for a specific participant. And now I can make them run another day, and then you'll see a leaderboard change. So now there are more people participating in this virtual challenge, and all the data changes. So I can clean this up, and I can create a new one just to show some of the options available. We can do a total distance challenge. Let's make it a team race. We make them go 500 kilometers, and we want a virtual course map, and let's create 3 teams. So now it's creating a total distance challenge for teams with 3 teams and in total 25 participants, and it will show also a virtual course map. In this simulation run, it's always the same one, but in reality, of course, you can customize and upload your own virtual course map. So again, it's taking a few seconds to prepare the event there. So now you see that there are two teams that have already enough that have some result, and you see their total distance. So if I click a team, it will show a breakdown of all the team members within this team and also their distance that each of them did so far. So if I run another day, you can see that the teams moving along the map. They're slowly moving. And now also in the third team, they have some distance. So this is a really easy way to try out and see how all these options work. There's a bunch of options, especially if you want to go with team races. You can configure this completely to your liking. I think looking at the time, I will just really quickly show 1 or 2 challenges that are interesting maybe to have. That are live at the moment. I think this one is really nicely designed. They have the 2021 on the map, and you see all the dots move towards the end of it. So that's really nicely done challenge. And here you see their leaderboards. Another one that's really nice is the Parkway Challenge, where they have a total goal, collective goal. So all the participants, they have a goal of 80,000 miles. So here it's not so much on like every participant on each own, but they combined all participants together. They want to reach this really, really ambitious goal of 80,000 miles. And so there's a collective progress that they're trying to make. So I think those are 2 really nice challenges that have their own goals and and use the platform to make that possible. And this, I think, also looking at the time, will end my part of the presentation. I would, of course, love to also get your feedback, questions, but looking at Lonnie now, if that's for now, or better maybe wait for the end.
Yeah, Koen, this is fantastic, and I was going to add a little bit on that too. And we allowed a little flexibility, so I'd love to get if anyone has panelists or any of our attendees have any questions, you can put those in the Q&A right now or in the chat. Michelle will kind of monitor those and let us know there's some questions. But what has been so great about Koen's technology in Sodisp is that the flexibility that you have with challenges or just even your single person event, to be able to manage a virtual environment, but allow people that integration piece. It isn't always so much, I mean, part of it is people love to see their times, and let's face it, we know because of Strava and Fitbit and Garmin, we get a little addicted to those things, just like, I'm sure Creek can attest to, now that we have watches that show us how many miles we go, we may not be sharing it all the time, but as a typical runner, if we get to, we're out for if we're out for a run and we're going to run for 30 minutes and we get to 3.89 miles, we all do that extra 0.11 to get to 4, because we got to get to that number. And Cree, for years, I know you logged stuff in an actual, the old fashioned way, writing down a log. This is this way everyone does it automatically and stuff. And I know even with my cycling stuff, I have literally, and laughing at myself for doing it, my Garmin didn't start when I started writing one day. I got about a half a mile into it, and I went back to the start and restarted my Garmin because that distance had to be counted, even though it was, for some reason, it didn't count. But so what this allows you to do is take those things that we're already in a habit of doing, bring those into your events, whether you're doing a hybrid event, a virtual event, and allows you some creativity with challenges. Not only can it just be run or walk, it can be cycling, it can be number of stairs. You can come up with additional things that Koen keeps adding in for those challenges of being able to track it. Now, obviously, sometimes the smartwatches yet don't necessarily track number of steps or how many push-ups I do or whatnot, but it allows a really cool integration, which then, you marry that type of stuff with some of the stuff that Pledge It does, and you create a whole fundraiser around these challenges. And the cool thing with those virtual maps of being able to create, just like he showed on the last one, it got, 2020 as a map, and you can do some neat, fun things with that. The other thing that I think is really important too is we have been able to, with our own events and stuff, we have used some other partners' technologies, or some other technologies out there, not necessarily partners. And they've been good for virtual when we've had to pivot. But one of the challenges is that, we can't do awards because somebody could have run downhill, somebody could have run uphill. Somebody could have, like Koen said, I went out for we had this happen a lot with one of our virtual runs that was a 5K. I had some people that went out and ran it. They just wanted to run extra that day. They did a little Forrest Gump, and they put their time in. They did 10 kilometers, and they put in that time. Well, that doesn't equate to a 5K time, and they might have had the fastest time of everybody, but it shows it, or they were short. And this allows you to create somewhat of an equal playing field. Not necessarily that you may do awards on it, but it allows you to create again, that even playing field, because their technology, I can put in some parameters, and if it's a 5K, and we saw this with the Rudolph Ramble, the people that started doing it virtually, is some people were a little short of 5K, some people were a little over, and it adjusts their time based on probably taking averages and other algorithms that Koen has developed to figure out what a real 5K time would have been for them for that. So it puts everything on a level playing field for your individual challenges. And the fact that whether they're using Fitbit or Garmin or Strava, all those things are easily done. We've worked with some other groups, and they require you to use their apps, or you have to manually enter it. and it's so super easy. And he's constantly, I feel like every time I pop up on his platform, I feel like there's another beta test with somebody. So, and that's a really good part about it. And the other good thing that I'd say for Koen and the company's technology is they're looking to hear from you on the things that you want to see or things that would make things easier. Literally, you know, I always said this about Koen, but usually it's if I come to him with an idea and it seems like it'll help more than one group, I think he goes out for a run, thinks about how he can build it in, and usually it's there. So can't promise that for everything, but it's usually pretty quick. Koen, looks like we have a question from Derek. I know who you've been talking with. He says, are you going to have the ability to do Fitbit total distance for the day or just an activity done on Fitbit?
That is indeed a good question. For now, we take Fitbit. Fitbit basically has two modes. So either you press start stop and record like a traditional activity, or you have measure your entire day. So currently we only take the real activities, but it's definitely interesting, maybe specifically for walking challenges, to also look at the day total. So I think this is like one of the things that Lonnie is referring to. If this is something that's going to be helpful to your event and to your participants, it's something definitely worth investigating what the impact would be, and specifically to prevent like one activity counting double, because that would not be fair to other participants. So if they make sure that that's keeps that level playing field. So I will make a note of it. It's a good question. And Derek, yeah, we have been chatting over the last week, so that's very interesting, and some very good feedback also that has been very valuable in, for instance, taking an active challenge from one platform and bringing that over to Sodisp, while keeping entire the full history of the participants that were on the Run Sign Up platform. Is now whenever they jump to Sodisp, their activities and their history, their full history will be there, and you can basically just migrate your entire virtual challenge that might be active on Run Sign Up, move it to Sodisp, and get all these great features like auto sync, while keeping your history. So participants they keep their past activities. So I think that was a really great idea. But I also write this one down. It's a good one.
Yeah, and one of the ways that we're using it right now is we have our hybrid events with the Run Denver series and the Rudolph Ramble, which I spoke quite a bit on Tuesday's sessions to talk about what we did and how participants reacted and all the COVID mitigation. But we've had people who had switched to virtual for whatever reason. They were uncomfortable with the surge taking place, or they were out too late the night before and couldn't get up in time, although we did have start times from 8 to 11:30. With all the different things, but with the virtual piece of it, we've allowed people to submit their times, and they have a window of about a week to do that, to do the virtual challenge. And one of the things that's always been really important for our event, our series, is our series has points based on how you do for each event compared to the overall winner, of how you earn points, and those points add up. And then there's series awards in March after the 5 events. And so I have the most points for my overall, or most points for my age group, and there's awards based on that. Well, we have so many people we know that are doing virtual this year that may be doing virtual again for whatever reason. And we understand, you know, it's for one thing where it is, gosh, I overslept and I didn't make it to the event or whatever, that, you know, virtual wasn't necessarily always a big component to us, but we allowed it. They never got points, and there was really no way to judge, you know, to say, well, okay, just because you showed me your time, is that fair to everyone else that's getting points to actually do the real course, because you could be doing it all downhill. You know, you could hop on a bike. I may not 100% know that you are. I mean, if you turn in a world record time, I probably am going to catch that. But there's definitely some parameters there that can make it challenging. But what we did with using this technology is we are people that are doing virtual, we're going to go ahead and award them points towards the series. It's a reduced amount of points, so they don't earn quite as many points as that they're going to be able to get if they were in person, because again, they could be doing, they're doing the course from their home or someplace else, and it's not necessarily an even playing field. So we've allowed some variable or handicap, if you will, that we're kind of subtracting from them. So they'll still earn points towards the series, but we wouldn't been able to do this in any other platform or technology without Koen's stuff. So it's really been very beneficial to our participants, and our participants love it because it's something for them to do. It's a challenge. It's a way to follow along for themselves and see if they're improving and earn those points, kind of like me out there earning my miles each day to add to my totals for the year. So doesn't look like we have any more questions, but certainly Koen will be around and we'll be sending out his presentation stuff. I've been working with it. Koen is always available for questions. I'm always available for questions on his platform as we start utilizing it more for not only the stuff that we do at HAL Sports with our own events, but as we start integrating it more with our clients. And I know I allude to and talked a lot about the American Lung Association stair climb stuff as they have to pivot out of doing some of those things. This could be, again, a way, if you think about this, just using American Lung as an example, for them to do some big challenge collectively to reach a certain goal of everyone climbing stairs for lung health or something. That could be something done on a national level that's benefiting all the different chapters and things, because we know, again, we did hear some encouraging news that the timelines are starting to get set for the vaccination in the United States. But, the general population, that isn't going to start until midsummer. And it's going to, again, it's 2 shots. So it's going to take a while to get everybody there. And then I forget what the time frame is, but it's a couple weeks, maybe even up to 4 weeks of time frame before you're considered fully inoculated. Because once, you get the shot, doesn't mean you are a superhero and automatically once you get it and 1 minute later you're not protected from everything. It takes a while for the antibodies to develop and things. So we're going to be in this for a little while. It's going to hopefully slowly come back, but there's all these great tools and the great thing about again, I know I'm really promoting a lot, but the great thing about Koen stuff is it's so agnostic to the different technologies out there. It works with them. And that's really what we want for our participants. We want whatever they're comfortable using to be able to work for them, as opposed to making them use something that isn't comfortable and that they're really only going to use one time and get rid of.